Good morning, everyone. 12th class, BST, chapter 6, staffing we were doing. And yesterday we started with the sources of recruitment. And we did internal sources already. Internal sources we have already done. And we are doing external sources. So this also we had started yesterday, and 3 external sources I told you yesterday itself. So external sources, I'm repeating all those 3, then we will start with today's topic. External sources means getting employees from outside the organization. It means we are going outside the organization to select the employees so that we can have a wider choice. Okay. So there are different external sources. First is the direct recruitment, which we have already discussed. In this, notice is pasted on the factory gate, and the people who wish to work assembles at the factory date on the prescribed time, and the person, mainly the supervisor or the person who has to take the work from those workers or the employees, comes outside on the prescribed date at the prescribed time, and he randomly select the people. And this source is suitable only for the unskilled employees when we are in immediate need of the unskilled employees. And the biggest demerit of this source was that it's uncertain. It's not necessary that we will be getting the required number of people at the required time. Second is the casual callers. In this, what I told you, that a list of the so we can say that in casual callers there is a waiting list of the employees, all those employees who just want to participate or who just want to do the job with a particular organization. They used to give their biodata or resume to those organizations, and whenever any job arises in those organizations, they call the required number of suitable people, and then the further selection procedure is done. And such type of database is prepared by each and every organization, and that database is also known as a database of unsolicited or uncalled applications in their offices. Every organization maintains this type of database so that at the time of requirement they can get it easily. There is no need to look for here and there for the employees. Third is the advertisement. I told you that many organizations are giving their advertisements in the newspapers, leading newspapers, local newspapers, or the national newspapers. And in that advertisements, they are making their job very attractive by telling about the perks and the merits of working in that particular organization. All the requirements are mentioned in this advertisements. And the national level newspaper, mostly the organization, big organizations are giving their advertisements in the national level newspaper so that they can have the wider choice, not only from their city, only from the different states or from outside also. So it is an effective means to search potential employees from outside the organization, because newspapers are read by mass of the people. So that's why it is we can have the wider choice. Okay. And the serious demerit of this organization is not the demerit, we can say the suitability of giving advertisement in the newspaper is wherever we need the skilled employees, and the employees are professional and educated, because this type of advertisements cannot be given for the labor class or for the worker class. Why? Because they never read the newspaper, they cannot afford to buy the newspaper. So this type of source is not good for the requirement or to fill the positions of the workers or the employees. The fourth one is the employment exchange. Employment exchange means it is a intermediary. Like at this place, the job providers are there, job providers. Okay. And at this place, the job seekers are there, job seekers. And they don't know each other. There are so many jobs in the market and so many employees are there in the market. There is the demand of the jobs and this is the supply of the jobs, but they don't know each other. So who work as an intermediary for both of this, that is known as employment exchange. Employment exchange. Okay. Employment exchange. Employment exchange is an organization which act as an intermediary in between employment exchange. So it works as an intermediary. What happens? Employment exchange can be of private and the public. Government employment exchanges are also there. In each and every city, government has set up one employment exchange. So how it works? The job seekers go to the employment exchange and they maintain, they record their all data there regarding their personal data, their educational qualification and their experience and each and everything, their contact number, so that the employment exchange can contact them at the time of the arising of the vacancy. Okay, so all the data is recorded by the job seekers with the employment exchange, and whenever the companies are in need of requirement of the employees, they can contact to the employment exchange, and employment exchanges are providing the database of the employees to the companies. In this manner, the database is now reached to the demand sector of the employees, to the, we can say, to the organizations. And now the organizations are having database, so they can directly contact to the supply sector or the employees. So in this manner, the employment exchange are acting as an intermediary. So these are run by the government, and sometimes these are also run by the private sector. If these are run by the government, then they are providing their services free of cost. And if these are run by the private sector, then these are charging some fees from the job seekers as well as from the job providers. So we can say employment exchange serve as a link between the job seekers and the job providers. They serve as a link between job seekers and job providers, and it is suitable for both type of employees, skilled as well as unskilled job. But the main serious demerit of this type of organization is this, that suppose you are unemployed, and once you have registered yourself with the employment exchange, so later on you got the job, so you are already in job, but you never went to the employment exchange to tell them that you have got the job. So in their list, you are still unemployed. So they can forward your data to any other person. So at that time, the data, whatever they are giving to any other organization, so they will be not able to fulfill their requirement because you are already in job. So in that case, sometime the data provided by employment exchange is not reliable. Okay, so the records of unemployment exchange are not often up to date. They are not updating their records. So whatever you have entered there, that will be remain there only until or unless you are going to the organization stock exchange and you are telling them that you have got the job. So next is the so this is all about the employment exchange, and they are really working good for the society because they are working as an intermediary in between the job seekers and the job providers. Next, placement agencies and personals. Placement agencies. What do you mean by placement agencies? Many times you must have heard about the placement agencies and the management consultants. Placement agencies provide nationwide service of matching demand and supply. So they are also doing the work of matching of demand and supply. Demand and supply. And most important thing is they are providing their services nationwide. It means they are the national agencies, not the local agencies. These agencies invite biodata from the job seekers and send them to their suitable clients. They are also collecting the biodata and they are sending it to their clients. Who are their clients? The placement agencies. Again, they are also working as an intermediary, and client are the MNCs and the large organizations. Whenever they are in need of the employees, they are just contacting to the placement agencies and they are sending their biodata to them. Or and the one difference here is the employment exchanges are providing free of services, free of cost their services, but they are charging their commission or the fees from the job seeker as well as from the job provider. From both they are charging fees or commission as their remuneration. And this is all about the placement agencies. And management consultant means here management consultant word is used. Management consultants are there in India and in also the different countries. They help the organization. Management consultants are used specifically for the technical, professional, and managerial. Technical, professional, and managerial employees or personnel. So placement agencies can be used for any type of employees, but management consultants are mostly used for recruiting higher level employees. Higher level employees means like the professionals, managerial employees, like any company want to appoint CEO, CFO, general manager. So the all the high level employees who must be very confidential employees and loyal employees. So the all responsibility of such type of employees is on that management consultants who are recruiting them. They are taking even the responsibility of the employees. And not only they are recruiting, especially they are recruiting the middle level employees and the and the top level employees. Middle level and the top level are recruited by the management consultants, and placement agencies are mostly recruiting the lower level employees or the worker class, lower level employees or the worker class. So they keep a complete record of persons with different qualifications and skills, and even advertise the jobs on behalf of their clients to recruit right type of personnel. In India, there are different consultants are there, like ABC Consultant. It's a very big firm of management consultant. Price Waterhouse. It is also a name of one consultant. Price Waterhouse. You can search about these consultants on net. AF Ferguson. This is also the one name, very renowned institution for uh, recruiting the employees. But one thing you have to keep in mind that through placement agencies, we can recruit the lower level employees, and through management consultants, we are recruiting the professionals, skilled employees who will be appointed at the top level or the middle level, managerial employees like engineers, consultants, and all the top level employees, such type of employees. And sometimes they are not only providing the database to the organization of these type of employees, on their client behalf, even they are performing all the functions of recruitment and selection of the behalf of the employees. It means they are not only providing the database, rather they undertake all the functions of the selection. It means they are selecting the employees on behalf of the companies, MNCs, or their clients, and after selection they are sending them for placement in that particular organization. So that organization, that management consultant is completely responsible for that type of employees which they are providing. So one thing you have to keep in mind here, that this can be used only for the skilled jobs and the top level or middle level jobs. Then campus interview. So it's a very renowned source of external recruitment. You must have seen, or you must have heard, or you must have read in the newspapers that campus recruitment is there. Campus recruitment, it means, सुना होगा बेटा आप लोगों ने, please tell me, what do you know about the campus recruitment? Campus means university campus. So have you ever heard about this campus recruitment? So in campus recruitment, yes, very good. Yes, in campus recruitment, what happens, like in DU or different technical institutes, the companies are going to the campus. The companies, many MNCs, foreign companies, or the Indian companies, yes, going to the universities, campus of the universities, and they are conducting their interviews there. And the universities are giving them a list of their bright and the meritorious students, who are well versed in each and everything. So list is provided, and these companies are conducting the interview sessions, and the best selected students are offered jobs by these companies. Yes, job is provided to the students of institutions. Not we cannot say exactly the internship. It's not internship, it's a completely job is offered to them. So they have got the job when they are studying in the particular universities. So these jobs are offered mostly to the third year students or to the second year students. So as soon as their degree will be finished, the job is waiting for them. and the packages are offered to the students, 30 lakh package, 40 lakh package. It depends on the reputation of the university, from which university you are doing your degree. So if the university is at the top ranking, then definitely the students from that university will be getting the higher packages. So especially this type of source can be used only for the skilled and the professional jobs, not for the unskilled jobs. So different colleges and institutes of the management and technology have become a popular source of recruitment for the technical, professional and managerial. Again, technical, all the engineering jobs, professional and the managerial. All such type of jobs are offered by the campus recruitment. Many big companies maintain a close link with them to recruit qualified personnel for various jobs. Companies conduct interviews in educational institutions and shortlist candidates, and on the basis of their interviews they offer them the packages, and when their degree will be completed they will be started they will start doing job in those particular companies. So it's a good source for external to get the bright candidates, to get the meritorious candidates. Okay, next, recommendations of present employees. What happens in this? Recommendations of present employees. What happens in this? नाम से ही पता चल रहा है. It means suppose the workers or any employee is working in a particular organization, and one requirement has arises. So the instead of wasting time in doing all the procedures, the organization or the bosses may say to their favorite employees that they can bring the employees if they are having. So the existing employees may present their friends, their relatives, their family members as the new employee in that particular organization. Like there is any vacancy arising in our school of any type of teacher, and there is one of my friend who is jobless nowadays, so I can refer her name to the management that she is my known to, and I know her very well, and she is very loyal and hardworking, so I am taking all responsibility of that person in that case. So if that person is doing any type of mistake or any type of fraud, then the person who has introduced him or her will be responsible for all of his or her working. So this is known as recommendations of present employees. So it ensures reliability and suitability. Yes, these two things are ensured. Reliability means the organization can trust upon that candidate, new candidate. Why? Because one of the very loyal employee of that organization has recommended him to the organization. So to improve the morale of the existing employees. So it is also good, and without wasting any time or money, we can get the employees. So such applicants are likely to be good employees because their background is sufficiently known. How their background is known? Because if I am offering any one person to my organization, it means I know that person very well. Under this method, a type of preliminary screening also takes place, as the employees generally recommend those persons who match the job profile. Suppose my friend is the English teacher and there is a vacancy of maths teacher, so I should not offer her job because there is no job suitability, that she can teach only the English, and there is a vacancy of maths teacher. So there should be a matching of the job profile and the qualification possessed by the candidates. The existing employees can be asked to stand surety for their friends and relatives who are selected. This policy helps in maintaining goodwill of the present employees and finding reliable candidates. Okay. So in this manner, the organization will be getting reliable and the loyal candidates, because to whomsoever I will be introducing, I will be having complete faith on that person. Only then I will be introducing him or her. Otherwise, that person may spoil my image in the organization. Next, labor contractors. So this type of source is used specifically for the unskilled laborers, not for the skilled laborers. Labor contractor. Labor contractor. Yes. This is used for, first thing, suitability of this sources for the unskilled laborers. Unskilled laborers, that the labor contractor have the relations with the labor in the villages, who live in the villages. So as soon as any requirement, and this source is basically used when labors are needed in bulk, laborers are needed in bulk. This is the main point which you have to consider while solving the case study. So whenever labor are needed in bulk, then the organization may contact, here is the organization, and they may contact to the labor contractor. Suppose you need 1000 labor after 2 days, because you have got a very large order. So in that case, the one arrangement of 1000 labor will not be easy for any organization in a very short time. So what they can do, they can contact to the labor contractors. They are having the numbers of different labor contractors, and they will be telling their demand to the labor contractor, and further the labor contractor will be contacting to the labor who are in villages. So in this manner, the labor contractor is providing the labor to the organization, but they are also not doing their work free of cost. So this source is used only when the labor is needed in bulk. But here, one merit is there, that getting of the employee is certain. It is very much certain that you will be getting the employees at the right time whenever you will be need. There is a highest degree of certainty in this source. But what is the demerit? That laborers who are appointed by the labor contractor work directly under the labor contractor. So if there is any clash in between the organization and the labor contractor, there is any clash, then on the one sign of the labor contractor, all of the villages may leave the job and may left to their villages. So the organization has to make good relation with the labor contractor. Otherwise, on the sign of the labor contractor, all the laborers may be leaving the jobs. So we can say that labor contractor act as a middleman between the laborers and the enterprise. Labor contractor keep their contact or keep in touch with the laborers in the villages and small towns and bring them to the places where workers are required. But labor contractors are ready to supply the required quantity of workers at a short notice on payment of commission. So important thing is here commission. They are charging commission also. They are not providing their services free of cost. So if there is any problem in deciding the commission or in making payment of the commission, then all the laborers may leave if the contractor is not satisfied or is not having good relations with the organization. Then whenever the labor contractor will say the laborers, because he is the job provider to them, the laborers don't know the organization, they are directly related with the labor contractor. So that's why they will be following his instructions only. If he is satisfied, they will start working. If he is not satisfied, they may be leaving the job and returning back to their villages. So certain, and we can get the employees in bulk, but the labor can move anytime whenever the labor contractor want. So this is the basic demerit, we can say demerit in this source. Next is the labor unions. It is deleted from your syllabus, so need not to do. Labor unions is not there. Web publishing, it is a very renowned source, web publishing. So nowadays the organizations, all the organizations have their own websites, and instead of giving the jobs in the newspapers, because nowadays no people, very less people are reading newspaper, everyone is on online or on net. So that's why the web publishing, they have maintained their websites and they are publishing their advertisements of jobs on their website, and some specific websites are there on which only the jobs are, vacancies are there, uh, how many vacant positions are there in which particular organization. So thousands, even lakhs of people are visiting such websites on daily basis, and when their job qualifications are matched with any requirement, then they can uh, give a mail to that particular company, and in this manner they can get the job. These days internet is becoming a common and popular source of requirement, we all know this. So these there are certain websites specifically designed to provide information about both job seekers and job providers. So the job providers are displaying their ads of the jobs at these websites, and Naukri.com is the example of this. It is India's #1 job site. So all the job providers are displaying their ads on this website, and the job seekers are on daily basis watching or surfing on this website, and these websites are frequently visited by large number of job seekers and companies searching for suitable employees. Some well-known websites, like one is displayed here, www.naukri.com and timesjob.com, clickjob.com, jobshead.com, rojgarforyou.com, many websites, monster.com, many websites are there who are offering jobs to the candidates. And the specific motive of these website is only to, again, these websites are also, yes, very good, Shubhangi. These sites, all these sites are providing jobs to the candidates. So all these are the 10, rather I would say 9 sources, because trade union is not in the syllabus. 9 sources of external recruitment. So now how the question will be coming on this topic, a case study will be there, and out of that case study you have to analyze whether the source is internal or external first of all. Then you have to decide, if it is external, then which method the company is using, direct recruitment. And for each and every method you need to learn the merits and demerits and suitability, which method is suitable where, casual callers, advertisement, employment exchange, placement agencies, and personal, not personal, management consultant, then campus interviews, then recommendations of present employees, labor contractors, and finally the web publishing. And you have to remember one thing, that the organization cannot use all these sources simultaneously. Rather, all these sources are not suitable for each and every type of job. So organization has to decide only one or two sources from which it is going to get the employees. And these sources are not selecting the employees. Remember this thing, these sources are just doing the work of meeting of job seekers and the job providers. We can get the applications from these sources. We can have the biodata or the database of the employees from these sources. Now the further process, that is the selection, each and every organization is doing after doing the recruitment. Recruitment means you have got the application, and next the further step will be the selection, that how you are going to select the required number of people from the available applications. Okay, now the merits and demerits of external sources, all these are the sources which we have done. So what you can do, I told you earlier also, when we are doing two concepts simultaneously, then the merit of one becomes the demerit of the other, and the demerit of the one becomes the merit of other. So earlier we have already done merits and demerits of internal sources. There I told you one demerit, that there is a very limited choice. So in this source we will be having a wider choice. How wider choice? Because the whole of the universe is open to get the applications, so we can have the wider choice. We can create a big pool of the applicants, and in this manner we can maintain the good choice or the wider choice. Then infusion of the new blood, because whenever we are using the external sources, then there may be new blood. New blood here means the new people with the new technologies and the new methods. So there may be infusion of the new blood. This we have done in internal as a demerit, because in the internal sources we are getting filled all the job positions only from the persons who are already working in the organization. In this case there will be stoppage of the infusion of the new bloods. So but here we are having the chances of infusion of new blood. Then spirit of competition, when the employees will be coming from the outside, the existing employees will be not lethargic. They have to now survive in the organization, and for doing their survival they have to compete with the new people who are with the new talents, with new technologies, new methods, with innovative things. So that's why now they have to compete. In internal source I told you that there is a lack of spirit of competition, but here it will be spirit of competition, because to survive in front of a new person you have to change your methods, you have to change your techniques. Next is the qualified and experienced personnel. If we are doing filling the job positions only by promotion, then in that case the incompetent employees may be promoted. So but here we are not getting the job positions filled by promotions, we are getting the employees from outside. So we will be getting the qualified. Whenever we are selecting the employees from outside, then we will try to select the best one. Best one means who is qualified and experienced in that particular field. Next, disadvantages of external sources. Disadvantages means two advantages we have done, if you remember, in internal. First was the less time consuming, second was the less costly. But these two are will be becoming demerits here. Why? Because whenever we are getting the employees from outside, then we need to then we need to save, we need to invest more time, as we are giving the advertisement in the newspapers, then the applications will be coming, then we will be doing the complete selection procedure, so it will be taking more time as well as the more of the funds. So we can write these 2 points, because if no other point we remember, then we can write these 2 points, that the external sources are expensive as compared to internal sources, because we need to conduct the lengthy procedures, we need to hire the experts for the interview panel. So in that case, the cost will be increased. If we are going to give the advertisement in the newspaper, then again we have to spend money. Okay. So next is the frustration among existing employees. If it is the policy of the organization that every time we are filling the job positions only by getting the employees from outside, so in that case, the existing employees will be frustrated. Frustrated means they will be not taking any initiative. They will be not doing work by heart, because they know it that whatever work they will do, they will be never promoted, because for promotion, whenever any higher level position will be vacant, the new person will be appointed there. So it may lead to the frustration among existing employees. They will stop working, they will stop giving their 100%. Then the time consuming, I have already told you, because it's a long process, it will take time. Firstly, we will be giving the newspaper ads, or we will be finding out the candidates, then the further selection procedure is done. If we are using the internal sources, then already we have employees, we have to just promote them. So without wasting any money or any time, we can do the promotions. Next, costly. So I told you already, uncertainty. Yes, this source is uncertain sometime, because it is not necessary that we are getting the required person. So sometime it may be uncertain. So this is a difference between the internal sources and the external sources. Quick process, internal is quick, less expensive, motivating staff members, limited choice. Choice is limited. Here 2 are the merits, and 3 are the merits, and 1 is the demerit. Then it's a lengthy process, it's a quick process, it's a lengthy process. Then costly, this is less expensive. Existing workers dissatisfied, frustration among employees, limited choice, wider choice. So this is all about the topic. Now I am going to ask some questions regarding today's topic, and only 2 class chapter is left. Okay, tell me. You can give me answer in chat box. Management will get qualified and trained persons by using dash recruitment, external or internal. Management will get qualified and trained persons by using dash recruitment. It's a fill up, external or internal. Yes, yes, yes.